Gonna hit the
Jai, we don't need to like play the intro. We usually are live BSing for a while before we play the intro, but the real issue is I gotta re-download the butt broadcaster, which I did just find out it's actually an acronym for like broadcast something or other. But they clearly had made up the names of the words to get the acronym butt. Like that was not by accident. I won't be able to repeat what the words were. I forgot what they were, but I do know the acronym is butt for the broadcasting system that I need. But I can't get us live on the radio today because I don't have it all sorted out and figured out on here. So we're just going live on the Facebooks and the YouTubes, podcast style. But, play the intro anyway, huh? What do you think? Welcome to Home Service Happy Hour, brought to you by Service Monster. Woo, woo, woo. Oh, dang. This is different. This is different stuff.
Oh.
Angela likes it. Angela's digging it. What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. We got new music. We're turning.
What does it sound like? Like a video game or something, like you're just.
I was gonna say it seems like it'd be a video game. It's not like intro music to a video game. It's a video game where you're like bird's eye view playing, and your character just went into like a lounge.
Yeah, I just see like your avatar just like doing this. Just,
I'm picturing like The Sims. The Sims.
Yeah, I'm picturing video game.
I'm picturing Grand Theft Auto.
Okay.
Stuff. Yeah. GTA stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't know if it's always weird when you're behind the scenes talking because I want to look you in the face, even though funny because you're on a video anyway. But I feel like eye contact still matters. Yeah.
I'm still there.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I know you're there. It's just I just want to see your pretty face. It's just weird. It's just Now I feel better about talking to you. What are we talking about today? I got an idea of what I think we should talk about.
This one.
Besides intro music, do we just want to do a whole episode on intro music?
No, making year-end investments.
Look at this! Look at this guy. We got Boots on the Ground Radio in the house checking in. We got Sean Day checking in with his Biggie mug. What you got in there, Sean? Just a big old glass of water
and 2 ice cubes.
High quality H2O.
You bet I do. Except it's a Browns cup, so I don't know what the hell I'm doing that thing.
What would be worse? Is it worse? Yeah, that's some good Browns intro music. What is it worse being a Browns fan, or do you think it would be worse being a Jets fan?
Wow. I would say definitely by far a Browns fan because the pain has been decade after decade after decade after decade. Our quarterback just walked off the field and left, and he's making $200 million a year.
Yeah.
In the middle of the game, in the third quarter.
Yeah. He just didn't think he was the right person in there.
Yeah.
Hey, he should hang out with Aria, who also walked off in about the third quarter. We had a manager one time literally like leave one of our cleaners on the side of the road. Like the cleaner's vehicle broke down. She was there to for whatever reason they were driving separately. And so like instead of staying until that cleaner got their vehicle situation solved, they're just like, well, peace out, good luck. Like the manager just quit. And I don't think Winton did the last job of the day. I think they still had another job to go do.
Yeah. That's why they don't separate.
Yeah, she didn't do that job, or she didn't get her employee back to the shop or anywhere useful. Literally just like, well, good luck. I'm out of here. I got other stuff to do apparently. So it's not the first time I've seen that. I don't remember paying her $200 million though.
No.
So that's different. That was different. Shout out Service Monster. Okay, we got sponsored. We got to talk about the sponsor. And Jai informed me that I can invert my screen, so I now can point at the right stuff. The trippy thing though is every letter that's on my background is backwards to me now. Like I think you guys can still see it. It allows me to point at the right stuff. Like Service Monster's there, and there's a QR code there, so check them out. but it's weird because it's all backwards to me. I just at least know what the shape looks like. The QR code, forward or backwards, doesn't even matter. I can read it either way. But the words, the letters are pretty screwy. The beer's flipped around, doesn't even matter. I could drink it with my left hand or my right hand. I'm amphibious. That's a
ambidextrous. Ambidextrous.
Yeah, there was I won't. What?
Amphibious is a
Yeah,
frog.
your mug reminds me of banded cups. We might all have our own drink in the cup, but we should have home service happy hour cups.
We should.
Since I'm going to be making some.
Since you're going to be making some, let's get some made, huh?
Just get some made and send them out.
Are you going to get right-handed cups made or left-handed cups? Are we going to need to like be amphibious to drink out of these things? No, there was a baseball player. Yeah, there was a baseball player that could hit from either side of the plate, and so they were. I forget how long ago this was.
Amphibious. That's good.
Yeah, he was. So they were interviewing him. There's like, Randall, how do you hit so good on both sides of the plate? And his answer was, well, I guess I'm just amphibious. Like, it's just so perfect. Like deadbeat. And never realized that he said the wrong word. So now whenever I'm going to say ambidextrous, even though nobody knows the joke, it's just funny to say amphibious. Like, well, yes, I'm just amphibious.
Even the producer's laughing, and his third language is English, so that's funny.
Third language.
I love it. But shout out Service Monster. We're going to talk today about stuff to be doing or prepping for right now to like set yourself up to win in the winter. One of the things, and I've talked about this already with Service Monster, go check it out. But for the love of God, don't switch right now. That would be asinine. Maybe run them side by side for a little bit. If you want to test a new CRM, like it's best to mess around with it while you got a little bit of stuff going on. But like, don't change the tires on the car while you're driving down the highway here. Like it's crunch time. Run with the systems you got. Don't try to change stuff now. But check out Service Monster. Scope it out because you don't want to wait until like mid to late December to start looking around. And then by the time you actually get a appointment set up with them, it's mid-January. And then by the time you actually pull the trigger, it's like early February. And all of a sudden you have like 3 weeks left to try to like get a new CRM set up. Like start looking at it now. I know you're busy as hell. It's that time of year, but know what you're going to be doing come like December 1st or whenever you start to, pump your brakes a little bit in your business. If you got a winter slowdown.
I can share a really good nugget about switching CRMs if you want. I share it with my coaching clients.
Yeah.
So I learned this back in my days in franchising. And what CRM, first of all, every CRM company in the world will tell you, oh yeah, it's in development, it's in the pipeline. That thing you just asked for, yep, we're working on it. It'll be the
everything.
It's always being worked on, like it's in the pipeline. So first of all, it's yeah, sure, it might be, but it's not going to be ready until 2037. So what we did, mistake we made, is we brought in like all the powerhouse franchisees, like the top 5 people, and we're like, all right, you're the think tank. Here's the CRM company. Let's tell us what we need as a franchise organization for this. And what we found is 5 badass owners having 5 ways that they like to enter their data, store their data, retrieve their data. And what the CRM company obviously did was like, yep, we can do that. Yep, not that one, but we're going to work on that one. And everybody was happy on day one.
Yeah.
Yep. And so what happened is 6, 9, 12 months later, 4 of the 5 were upset because what they wanted isn't done yet. So what I learned is, don't try to get a CRM that does things the way you do. Learn the way the CRM does it and try to say, can we adapt our ways to the way the CRM works? And 99 times out of 100, you're going to say, oh, yeah, we could make this slight little modification and do things this way so that it works. And you don't have to find this unicorn CRM that is literally running the way that your crazy brain, which entrepreneur brains are just wired differently, but you'll work in the way the CRM is intended to work rather than the way that your brain is intended to work.
Yeah. One of the other things you said there, but you didn't make this point, but this happened to us, is also don't get a CRM based on what they say they're going to do.
Oh yeah.
And what they're going to release. Mm-hmm. We made that mistake like a decade ago with Service Autopilot way back in the day. And they were going to unleash all these things. And 10 years later, when we were switching off of it, it all looked the same, felt the same. The only thing that changed was the ownership and the customer service got a lot worse.
Software's so hard.
It's not for me. I don't mind using it. I just don't want to be the one creating it. And,
Mhm.
and it's like a thankless job, right? Having a CRM, everybody's a pro, everybody's a critic, everybody knows the way it should be. And you said it, Michael, there's just not a perfect one. There can't be. There's too many voices to try to reckon with.
And too many variables. Yep.
But Service Monster is the best one. So go check out Service Monster. Here's a QR code. Just check it out. Don't change right now. It'd be crazy to change your CRM, which got me to thinking of, we're at that phase where you don't have time to execute on much. You just need to go out and crank out work for 90% of people in the home service space. And you also need to at least be thinking about things you want to change, because you're going to have a small window of time to change it. And it always seems like a big window of time, but it's never that big. And pretty soon it'll be freaking Sales Boost time. And we'll all be hanging out at Sales Boost. And you'll be like, man, it's go time, right? It's March. We're going. I don't have time to switch CRMs now. I don't have time to switch phone systems now. Phone systems also suck. Switching, just like you'd think they'd have this thing figured out, but like porting numbers and setting up your phone tree and doing whatever and learning the things, it's like one step below a CRM, like learning the things they call the thing. They just have a little different language in those phone VoIP.
VoIPs. I think VoIPs are getting better. I think they're getting more consistent and easier. And just because we have to deal with that all the time.
Oh yeah, I bet you do. Well, give us the lowdown. Give us the lowdown on changing phone systems and VoIP.
I think that's more consistent. Like we find that pretty easy. We deal with so many owners that are in the phase of, if you haven't already done this, your cell phone should not be your business phone. That's never going to work to grow in any capacity or get you out of your business. But
everybody starts there. Like everybody starts there.
Everybody starts there. And so a lot of people have to go to VoIP or switch from, their local phone company to a solution. But I'd say the top solutions out there have gotten standardized and easy to use that we get like people up and running right away.
Do you guys have to have like your VAs trained on a whole bunch of them so that they're adaptable, or are they like, oh, I've been on Ring Central, so I can get on Nextiva and go? Is it?
Yeah, they can get on them and go. And then like the onboarding person helps the client get set up.
If you had to pick a VoIP based on what you see,
I don't know anything about that because
I didn't let you finish the question.
Punch
like, oh, stop talking.
Yeah, punch it.
That's not my department in the company.
Yeah. Ask Michelle what she thinks. Michelle will know. She'll know.
I was like, I need sales, and it's like somebody will help you with that. I think I know Ring Central is what we use. So.
Yeah, we've used that a whole bunch. It was frustrating to learn, but once we like figured out the different areas, there's so many different like menus where it seems like you're in the same menu that you just were, but you're not. That was the one thing that always confused me about a lot of them. It's like, there's like 4 places I got to go to like change my voicemail over. And I don't even know if this is on the line we log into or if it's just the line that the customer calls, because those are 2 different things. I was just like, wait, which one am I in? Like, I don't even know who's using. Is anybody using this line? Sean, that was probably a email that I sent out 100 times at Blue Skies. We had so many phone lines from buying and selling businesses. It was like, is anybody using this phone line? We're paying $50 a month for it. Is anybody logging into this one?
Well,
No?
you had all kinds of complications.
Oh, we had all kinds of goofy stuff. So many in like different locations and stuff like that. And well, if you're press 1 for window cleaning, plus press 2 for home cleaning, press 3 if you're like, well, where am I? That was where I would press. Yeah, it was a mess. But what else?
I think the other thing too, real quick, with CRMs that I found was it depends on where you're at with your business. I mean, for example, like Tom Stewart's got a hell of a CRM for the maid service industry. It's phenomenal. I saw it pre-COVID, sort of under the hood when I stayed with him and flew down there and stayed with him and his wife. And when I saw it back then, it blew me away.
Yeah.
And it was pretty potent. Now what he's got is just outrageously, it's really good, but it's expensive. So if you're at $250,000 or even maybe $500,000, there's a couple things out there that are inexpensive that can get the job done really well with automations and things like that too. You know, the customer factor, I use that. It's like $25 a month. I don't know what he's charging now. It was like $25 a month. And literally I'd call him up and go, hey, Steve, what's going on? Hey, not too much. Can you change this? Or can I get my logo on this? And literally, you know, he was a programmer and stuff, and he had some overseas help, but it was done in like a week. You know, it was just, he had nothing but really small businesses, but he had the best service you can ever imagine. And I heard that from everybody that used it.
Yeah. I think Steve has finally like scaled it a little bit, because they even went from their like Craigslist looking page to like it looks very nice now. And I use it on the recording side for some clients, but it is funny watching like the evolution of these CRMs, because I remember when Jobber came around for the first time, and it was like, hold on, I got to. Oh, Michael muted himself. Either Jai or Michael muted Michael. Somebody muted him. He's over there just working. He's doing work stuff. Lame.
He was raising his hand again.
Well, I'm sitting here. Well, I mean, I guess it is only like 120.
I'm used to Zoom where it blocks out all the background noise, so my apologies. Thank you, Jai. The best producer ever.
Best producer ever.
Aw.
You need like a heart emoji now. Can you send hearts up the screen or anything? Did you figure out how to do that? You can like do the sound effects. Now we need some visual effects, Jai. I don't know.
There is block out you got to do it when you enter. It's like Zoom, unlike Zoom, but on StreamYard there is block out your, because I have to use it.
I think.
There is block out your background on StreamYard, because I have to use it for my treadmill.
Oh, that's good to know. That's good to know. It's somewhere in the settings. It's probably close to the same. Oh yeah, just the wheels.
Reduce background noise. Yeah.
It's in the same spot, Michael, as to where you can invert your background so that you actually can point at the right stuff. It's probably in the same type of menu area.
I'll just hit mute until I'm ready to talk.
There you go.
We're good.
It has been interesting. It has been interesting watching the evolution of the CRMs. And I often get pulled into the nature of my business is I get like pulled into every software change that somebody's making, because if they're changing CRMs, we need to know about it. If they're changing payrolls, we sure as hell need to know about it. If they're changing phone systems, we don't really need to know about that one. But I have a bunch of people right now that are on a crappy payroll system, and like now is the time. And this is probably the most time sensitive one. Yeah, I'll talk about the one that I like the least, and I'll talk about the one that I like the most. I'm not going to throw every payroll system under the bus here, but a lot of people, and this is like the nature of the beast with a lot of things that we sign up for. I see a ton of people on QuickBooks payroll, and I use QuickBooks exclusively for bookkeeping. So I'm not throwing QuickBooks under the bus, but they are just not great at payroll. Their service isn't great. Their platform isn't great. Their pricing is good, but that's about it. And I work with everyone in between. We're with ADP, and we do stuff with Paychecks and Sure Payroll and all the payroll services. Gusto tends to be the best one we find. And I run into a couple people that have had a bad experience with them. There's a few things with payroll systems to be thinking about. One is like, if you're going to switch, like, check out whatever. Again, I recommend Gusto, but no matter what, if you're going to switch payroll systems, the best time to do it is at the end of a quarter, but the way best time to do it is at the end of the year. And that's like coming up. And you don't want to wait until the week between Christmas and New Year's. There's no way you're going to get a new payroll set up to run that next payroll with a week to, I mean, like maybe if you want to be miserable throughout the entire holiday season, you could get it done. But like you need to get all your employees switched over, right? You need all the tax ID numbers and all the setup stuff. And then you got to go onto all the state websites and put the Gusto info in and take the other payroll company out. There's like a lot of nonsense with switching that. It's not as bad as a CRM, but it's like the second worst probably. Just if you're going to switch payroll systems, and I recommend Gusto, switch like December 1st, or start the switching process, like get set up with Gusto, and I'll talk about this in a second, but like get them all the data so that everything is ready to go January 1 and that first payroll in January, which is actually like the last payroll of the last year, but it goes by when the money hits the bank account, you want that one in Gusto. You don't want to have 2 different payroll systems going into the next year, because W-2s and all the reporting stuff and all the tax stuff. Like a clean break at the end of a quarter is good. A clean break at the end of the year is perfect. Just don't wait until like mid-December to try to do it, or you won't get the support from the company, and they won't have resources to give you because you're too far in the back of the line, and then you're scrambling and trying to figure it out. And if you're anything like me, you don't want to figure out how to set up a new payroll system. That is not, when I say that out loud, you're not like, that sounds sweet. Nobody's saying that. It doesn't sound sweet. If you thought it sounded sweet, you're weird. Cool for being weird, but you're weird. Let me hit on Gusto for a sec. I don't know if you guys have used Gusto a whole lot. This is like a thing. We've talked about this on the show, and this is a reason why I like Gusto, and this is a big reason why I love Service Monster, is they don't try to sell me a bunch of shit. Everybody else tries to sell me so much shit. I was joking. I forget who I was talking to. I bet I have blocked House Call Pro 10 times. Like, and it's not that I use House Call Pro all the time in our bookkeeping business. Like, we log into it for clients, we look at it, and it's fine. But they literally text me 10 times a week, and I keep blocking them, and yet they keep texting me. So apparently they're very disrespectful of the block. I don't know exactly what they're doing, but I'm not a fan of it. And it's just like, stop trying to sell me shit. Like, it's turning me into a massive detractor. Like, don't try to sell me shit that I don't want. See how you can help me, cool. But don't just try to be like, hey, you got this sweet deal, you got to sign up now, text blast. Nobody wants that. I get, and like, we have hundreds of clients on QuickBooks, and they keep trying to reach out to me, but it's just always somebody. And again, like, I use QuickBooks exclusively for bookkeeping, so I'm not that deterred. But every time they try to have somebody follow up with me, that's my rep, it's just a salesperson. It's a sales rep. They're not there to help me. They just want to just have me sell more shit for them. I'm like, man, I already sell a lot of stuff for you guys. ADP, same thing. ADP rep, same thing. Paychecks rep, same thing. Gusto is the only one where I have a rep. Jake Steese. I'm pretty sure he wears a red polo shirt with khaki pants. Jake from Gusto. And he's basically Michael Gregory right now. You just put a collar on, but Michael's probably wearing gym shorts right now. I'm 99% sure Michael's wearing some mesh style polyester gym shorts. I know that man.
100.
What's that?
100% correct.
Yeah, nailed it. There's just no doubt about it. Look at that. He's got gym shorts on for sure. But Jake is like my rep, and yeah, he's got to like sell stuff. He's a salesperson, and I don't know. It's got to be how Gusto trains them, because every rep that I've had, like I've had 2 other ones in previous lives, and none of them have tried to sell me stuff. They do bring me like, hey, here's some other cool stuff we have going on if this helps you. But mostly they're like, hey, do you have a new client that needs my help? I'm like, I do. In fact, every client that ever set up payroll needs your help. Right. Because nobody does this for a living besides you guys. We do it once every 3 years when we're fed up with our old payroll system. Then we have to set up a new one. And of course we need help, because I don't know do I have this tax ID or am I missing is the state coming after me? Like, I don't know what this number is. Are you sure I have this number? Maybe it's somewhere on a sheet of paper in a filing cabinet. Like, please hold my hand through this. So I got Jake. Jake holds our hand, which is cool. Like, that's why I like Gusto. I got Jake, and he wears a red polo and khaki pants, so he's cool. As I'm nerding out on vendors here, do you guys have any like that where you found there's just certain vendors where you're just like, man, just like your thing is fine, but leave me the F alone? And anywhere, actually, I put Angela in the over the top, not selling me anything for like years. She didn't tell me that she wasn't just like, Dan, like, I can get you all the bookkeepers you need, dude. Like, psst. But she's too nice. She wouldn't like sell me anything, which is why I like her so much. But do you guys have any other vendors you've seen like that where it's like either extreme selling you something every 2 seconds and you're like, yeah, I already use you. You don't even need to sell me a thing again. Just stop it. Or vendors that you prefer because of the way they interact or support or anything like that? Shout out Unique Genius Virtual Assistants.
Thank you. Well, I wanted to, I mean, you said one thing you said that you like about it is like Jake is there to hold your hand through the process. And I think that is a good vendor. Like that's the sign of a good vendor and good onboarding and good client experience is you have somebody that's like, hey, I'm here to hold your hand through this. We didn't just sell you this product and say, figure it out, have a nice time. That you have somebody that you feel like is like, all right, I'm here to lock arms with you, whatever you need. Like, not make you feel stupid or like, I don't know what we're doing here. So I think that's the best vendor relationship. I just wrote that down to make sure we do that. Like somebody is coming alongside you saying, we're here to help you figure all this out.
Yeah. Oh man.
CRM or not. I mean, that's a great point in a CRM too. When you switch over, like what is the experience? What is the help experience like?
I got too much shit going on over here. I'm like trying to, I realized I didn't change the privacy on my Facebook Live. So I had to go in and do that because otherwise like nobody can see this thing. And then I'm messing around with my phone and I'm hitting my microphone. CRMs, I think, are the worst violators of that, Angela. I like every time you sign up with a CRM, like they're so helpful until you actually sign up and then they just disappear. That, and again, like I'm biased, Service Monster sponsors. But that was one of my favorite things about Service Monsters. Like we got that help and that goes so far. And it's probably, it feels childish in a way. It's like, yeah, I'm a small business owner, but for the love of God, help me set this up. Like, I don't know how to set this up. But like, whether someone's signing up for bookkeeping or a VA or for recruiting or for marketing, like that support. When I signed up with Click Call Sell, like I have a Monday board and they can keep like sending me, like tagging me in it to be like, hey, Dan, here's the next thing. Let me hold your hand. Here's the next thing. Here's the next thing. And like, we need that. Look at this guy. Look at us checking in here. Hi guys. That's Jared.
It's Santa Claus.
He's in another room, somewhere mysterious other room.
Right on cue when you just
Is he going to is he gonna come in and splash some confetti around?
I don't know. I did just say to him, I'm like, I'm kind of, I don't know if disappointed was the word, but I haven't been scared in a while.
Oh, you just like opened the door up? Why would you have done that to yourself? You're like a glutton for punishment.
I'd be looking behind you for the next 7 days, wondering what's going on now.
Entrepreneurs, we're like adrenaline seekers. That's it.
Dude, it's almost Halloween.
Yeah.
Trans world, man.
Yeah.
Even though sometimes it was the most annoying parts that he did, he always found the parts like, when I try and record content, when I'm like seriously trying to record content and I would be like really deep and he'd wait until I was really deep in recording content and then.
Well played. Well played.
There it is. There it is. I saw it.
Speak of it, and there it is.
It even froze up all of her stuff. It was too much. You couldn't handle it. Yeah. Bam.
See what
Good
you
job,
for?
Casey.
Now you all got the excitement.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. It was so authentic too. Like it happened so fast. Yeah.
I wasn't gonna think about it until you said it. And I was like, might as well grab some confetti.
Yeah. Hit it hard. Good job. Good job.
I was like, I think he's in the building somewhere.
She was still talking about it, and you like interrupted her talking about it, which was perfect.
Trying to get my camera to hold the confetti gun while I was like recording, and it didn't work, so I figured this was good enough.
Yeah,
you still have the recording.
You did great. You did great. This, I assume Angela appreciated it because she was just asking to be scared. For sure, the rest of us did.
The good part is usually there's a lot that ends up in my beer, and it's none. So.
A very respectful confettiing.
Very, very respectful.
No, I think that like hand holding is so important when you're setting up new software stuff or anything like that. It's just, it takes some of the guesswork out of it. And even if you're on the right track, it's just good to know that you're on the right track because it kind of goes into one of those things too, where it's like the business owner gets stuck doing a lot of those things and there's nobody that understands it, and it's like we're the ones that end up having to do it a lot of the times, and the onboarding of a new thing, because it's our crazy ass idea that we're going to change it anyway. And so it's just another thing where it's like, I just need somebody to support me. I don't even know, like, you might just need to watch me navigate the screen, but I just need somebody to like have my back for a second. And so please watch me set this thing up. But I digress.
You need somebody that's important. That is like that. And it's amazing. I mean, you kind of hit it on the head. Like, us as business owners, like as visionary business, the last thing we want to do, I feel like it like kills our souls to be in something setting it up. It does mine, right? Like anything where I have to pay attention. And yeah, even if someone's sharing the screen, doing that, we've tried to set up a lot of systems that our virtual assistants could set up things for people. So like, we now do that with ResponsiBit. If people are getting ResponsiBit, it's like the owner isn't even involved. The owner's like, this is too much for me. Okay, go ahead, not be involved. And your virtual assistant will just do it all for you and just come back and ask you the only questions that they need answered.
Yep. That's a good
and
idea.
I just
That's
onboarded a new thing this week again because it was my idea. JC just did it, and I just added it. Clicky, is that what it's called? It's for referrals, like to let people like get sort of affiliate marketing or referrals. But they had an amazing onboarding system of like, let me just get on with you. And he's like, I can see that even being on with you is painful. It's painful for me, but he literally like got into my Go High level, created all the link, like just let me be on the screen with you and do it all for you. But just acknowledging like, I can see this is painful for you, just even having to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. I had just and again, time of year, like Gusto's top of mind for me right now because I have so many clients that are like, I need a new payroll system. And so I had one that reached out and was switching, and we don't do payroll for people. Not that we can't, but I always run into this trap. It's like a trap I'm trying to avoid. I don't want to get stuck doing stuff for people that I think they can more cost effectively do themselves, and they're just not doing it. And I don't know. It's like, that's not my role, but as a finance person, I'm like, I don't want to sell you shit just to put more money in Dan's pocket. Like, putting more money in my pocket is not my life's goal. I just don't care that much. I want to see you succeed. That concerns me. And if I can be a part of it, that concerns me. But you will succeed more if I just set you up with Gusto and get you Jake from Gusto with the red shirt with the khaki pants. That will, like, you can enter your own payroll. You don't need to pay me $100 or $200 a month, but some people still do want to. And I was like, man, it's not the same skill set as a bookkeeper. Like, it's a different administrative skill set, but I was reckoning with, because we're kind of at the same thing with taxes. It's like, I don't know if I want to do the tax stuff for people. I sure as hell don't. Just like I'm not going to enter payroll for people, but I can get people on our team that can do that. And so if it's a solution to a client problem and that helps them, neato. But I was like, man, if I had enough, like if we start dabbling in the taxes, then we're going to get into payroll tax stuff and sales tax stuff. Well, and then we're going to need like admin people that can do that. Like maybe it's bookkeepers, but maybe it's a different skill set. And if we're doing that, then we're probably doing payroll stuff for people, like payroll entry and some whatever goes along with that. And I was like, I should probably talk to Angela about this.
Yeah, I was like, you totally should. We could get you a whole team for that.
Yeah, before I go down the wrong path.
For that.
Yeah, before I go down the wrong path forever, I should talk to Angela about this. So
you can get a team for that.
Just don't sign a $200 million contract. That's all I can tell you.
But that holds people's hands better. And I mean, it's a lot for the shut, but I said, I mean, the taxes things too, and having a partner. I mean, I said, I keep wanting like to get you connected with my brother in that, like, it's so seamless. People, I mean, like taxes make my head hurt. It's a lot for them to just talk to one person, right? To talk to you, to talk to your account manager, their bookkeeper. And like, if that can be the point of contact for their numbers, and that's it that they really have to have a relationship with. And then
Yeah, it's like
you
a
have
relationship minimization. Like, give me
yeah,
less.
and then you
emails
have a
to ask them.
relationship with their accountant, and like that's all just tied together, and they don't have to think about it. That's why, again, it's just hand holding. It's like, how can we hold your hand and like transfer your numbers seamlessly?
We're in the business of hand holding. Do you need your hand held? Michael, do you need your hand held? Yeah, he does.
Yes.
Guy's still stuck in
I
gym
thought I was
shorts.
on mute. That's why I didn't say anything. I was like, unmute quickly.
Need my hand
Well,
held.
no. So hold on a second. Everything Angela was saying, I resonate with completely. I mentioned I was in Malibu a couple weeks ago for my EO retreat, and we did this Working Genius report. Did I talk about this with you guys? Working Genius?
No,
Yeah.
hit us.
Okay, check it out.
That's all.
Working Genius is amazing. I think it's Dan Sullivan. I think it's 10x is easier than 2x, and Who Not How. I think Working
Who
Genius
Not
is associated with that. But basically, it gives you your genius, which is people that are like excel at something, they don't even realize it. Like somebody that's like really good at sales, like just go fucking sell. Just like, what do you mean? Just go talk to the customer, close the deal, and do it. And somebody
Yeah,
that's struggling with sales, like,
they can't even describe how it's done. It's just like, oh, you just go do it.
yeah, like what are you talking about? It's so damn easy. And then you have your competency, things that you're good at, you don't mind doing, like you get burnt out over a while, but like you'll do it. And then you have your working frustrations. These are the things that like just make you angry. And as Angela was saying, like phone systems, nope. Like that's like
No
definitely
thanks.
like something that just I don't want to do. Building systems, doing wireframes, workflow. So it breaks down. It's got the word widget, wonder, invention, discernment, galvanizing, enablement and tenacity. So it spells all these things out. And I'm not going to go into all of it. Just look up Working Genius. And basically, it starts with wonder. Like, I wonder what we could do to make this thing better. And it ends with tenacity. Like, let's get it done and make sure it gets done on time. And so you want to find in your organization people that fill all those different widgets to make something work. And I'm with 8 entrepreneurs, and we all do it together and kind of go through it. But it was eye-opening to just see people's strengths, geniuses, where they really thrive and where they struggle.
Mhm.
And it was eye-opening for me. So my strengths are wonder and tenacity. So I'm really good at like, how can we make this reporting budget software better? And then I go build this crazy API software, and I'm just tenacity to get it done. And I don't have anybody to go sell it. My galvanizing isn't there. My discernment, people asking me qualifying questions. So I have several times in my entrepreneurial life just run straight in the wrong direction because I'm missing
I'm
some
gonna
of
go
those
do this
pieces.
thing.
Yeah,
Tenacity.
and then you're like, wow, nobody wants this. And I just spent $100,000 in this thing that nobody wants. That sucks. If I had some discernment, I might be a little bit better at that. So the point
Everybody, I'm here and I have something super cool that you're gonna love.
is
I love it. I still love it.
the two things, the two things I would say is like look up Working Genius. It's really hard to not say Unique Genius. Every time I say Working Genius, I want to say Unique Genius. But look it up and then have people take it and see what your team is. You want your leadership team to be enablement and tenacity. Enablement is like project management, enabling the team to be successful. They understand the vision. They understand what the job is. They got the galvanizer, the person getting excited, but they're like, all right, team, here's what we need to do. Let's go execute. And tenacity, getting things done at completion. I had my leadership team go through it, and they were enablement and tenacity, and it was amazing. So I've got the right people in the right seats. You don't want your doers to be, wonders. Like, stop asking questions. Just do the thing. Like, shut up. Just do it. So it's really, really cool to see like the right people in the right seats, and this is a good tool for that.
I dig it.
Very cool.
I dig it.
The Working Genius, also called the Unique Genius report.
Is it more of a personal assessment sort of thing, or is it a topical like, hey, here's a project we want to take on, let's put it through this framework? Like, in what situations do you apply the widget?
So yeah, it can be applied to very large. So when I was reading about it, educating and learning in my retreat, it can be applied to anything. It can be so wonder and invention are just like the Elon Musks, right? Is we're going to blow each other up with nuclear bombs. We need to figure out how to colonize Mars. Like this wondering what we can do when we destroy each other, right? And so the inventor's like, well, we need to make a rocket ship that can go to Mars. Like that's the solution. We need to figure out what we can do to make Mars thing. So it can be something as big as that, but it could also be our hiring system sucks. Like, how do we get better employees to come in? So inventing a new way to do that. Hiring, hire lead Jill to do that, right? And then the D is the discernment. And that's the next important part. You need somebody, and as a visionary, the D is like your integrator. Somebody that is going to ask those questions and say, like,
put some holes in this thing, and what if this thing happens?
Yeah, the contrarian, the devil's advocate. Now, what about this? We didn't think about this. Like, and they're making sure that you, the visionary, have somebody you trust that can challenge you and ask you the right questions. It's not Debbie Downer. It's somebody who's intelligent that you trust. Then after you've gone through that exercise, the discernment, you need the galvanizer, right? Say, okay, you guys have done this right. Let's get people excited about it. So then you go recruit the talented people to say, we got this cool idea. Who wants to be on our team? And so you're getting all the internal and external galvanizing. I like to use Josh Latimer as like the galvanizer. How many people were talking about Warplan AI before Warplan AI was a thing? Like, I don't even know, thousands of people, and it didn't even exist. So you got to get the galvanizer for the audience, the customers, and the reach, and the galvanizing for your internal team. And then you need somebody who can enable and create an environment where people can thrive. That's your culture, your director of culture, right? People excited to understand what the vision is, communicate the vision, get people in the right seats to execute. And then tenacity is getting things done. That's your doers. That's your techs. Like, you got 6 hours to get this done. We got $1,000 to get done today. So all of your technicians need to be tenacity. And all of your project managers, operations managers, office, whatever, they need to have enablement and tenacity to create an environment for people to thrive.
Hell yeah.
That's huge.
So
that was awesome.
Working Genius, also
that
called
was
Unique
that.
Genius Report.
The Unique Genius virtual assistant.
I have no idea how many times I've said Unique Genius. Like I said it incorrectly. Just go to Unique Genius.
Unique is a little bit different, but I'm excited to integrate this Working Genius as a different, because it's just like, I mean, that's
it's powerful. And the more you research it, the more you realize like where your gaps are, and like, that's it. It's
so that this Working Genius is something you need to know about your team. You need to know before you place people on your team, the capacity that people have. I mean, it's a lot of right people in the right seats that the capacity people have. We talk about unique genius versus Working Genius in a way that, but sometimes people don't know what that is either. Like, what are you really good at? What is your genius? Like, what are you really good at? Dan, you're really good at numbers and helping people make numbers sexy. Looking at numbers to me is the opposite of my unique genius. Like, it's literally kryptonite if I have to look at it. It's not only not my genius, but it sucks the life and energy out of me. So
maybe that's why you and JC get along so well, is because we can't get him to look at his numbers either.
No. It's very dangerous to have two of the same people. That's why we have Michael in our life.
That's good.
Yeah, you need a coach that can do that for you.
Yeah.
Just to tell you.
I do. I'm envisioning Working Genius brought to you by Unique Genius, and we got a VA that can help you with all your Working Genius needs here at Unique Genius.
There you go.
Well, that's why it's called Unique Genius. Is we try and help business owners work in their unique genius and delegate the rest. Like, do what you're good at, do what you love to do, not what sucks the energy out of you. Like when you get an executive assistant, and delegate the rest.
I had John Hewitt on a podcast of mine. He's from H&R Block, and he's got like, I don't know how many franchises. He sold his tax franchise for just under $500 million, like 25, 30 years ago or something like that.
Exit. He had an okay exit.
Yeah, he did okay. And he's super down to earth guy. And he said, I asked him a question that really aligns with what Angela just laid out and with this Working Genius thing. And it goes back to, it's fine to find out what you don't like to do or what you're not good at or what you're, what is not your unique genius, if you will. But it's another thing. He says the problem is we've got the management of America, especially for small businesses, has a delegation disease. They don't mind delegating, they think, but then they get right back in the shit of it, and then they start to destroy that. And he said that's the biggest problem, the biggest bottleneck for small businesses. Delegate, trust your people, get the best people you can, and then delegate it and get the hell out of the way. And just focus on the results, whether you need to do that weekly, monthly, quarterly. He says it's like a disease, and he sees that all the time in small businesses.
I
Mhm.
believe it. I believe it. I see it on the bookkeeping side too. Like it's plain as day. But it's and actually I would say this, it all goes back to recruiting. It's hard to be good at delegating if you don't
Yep.
recruit well. Like if you recruit really good employees, it's way easier to be good at delegating. But delegating, it's tough when you get burned a couple times, and you're like, man. And training is obviously really important, and expectation setting is really important. But if you don't get the right people in the first place, like who the hell are you delegating what to? What are you even going to delegate? You got incompetent people. Like, of course, you're going to be gun shy about delegating stuff. You don't trust the people you hired that you're trying to delegate stuff to. So, of course, you're going to end up doing it yourself and shooting yourself in the foot.
Exactly.
I want to
So you
transition.
got to get people from this right capacity. I mean, in recruiting and thing, like you got to use this working genius, not just for yourself, but to surround yourself with the right people. That too many people get people that are in the right seat. Thank you. That was so impactful, Michael, sharing all that. Like you get somebody that's wrong. You get somebody that's the task doer that has that. I'm forgetting the words that you shared. That's not something else.
Yep.
But you get somebody that is the task doer and it's the checker off the list. It's supposed to be that you wanted to be
Galvanizer.
the integrator.
I talked about you're right. I've talked about this in the past where, and I've done it when I was with Enterprise years ago, was that you've got the best sales guy or lady in the house and they're selling. You want to promote them. So the sort of natural thing to do is to promote them to manage other salespeople. That's a totally different job. That is a totally different day-to-day activity. That's a totally different thing. And I can't tell you how many people, and I've done it when I've taken somebody out of the field, a technician, brought them in the office because I wanted to reward them. I wanted them to, and they thought they wanted it, right? And so, yeah, this is a great idea. And no assessing, no nothing. It was just, that seems the right thing to do. I need a career path and I don't, and I want to reward you. Oh, there you go. And it's a nightmare. And then it's just a huge conflict that blows up in your face. So it's, you got to watch out, like, with those promotions to a completely different line of work, a different job title.
The most impactful one to me that I'll never forget, and thank God this person didn't have a problem bringing it to me so that we could fix it, because that doesn't always happen. And you probably already know who I'm talking about, Sean. And I don't know, this fits into Michael's widget example. I'm with Angela. I already forgot the words that he said besides galvanizer. I thought that was a cool word because as he was talking about the acronym, I was like, man, they did some cool word stuff. They got tenacity, galvanizer.
Squirrel.
Yeah. But we had Nikki in our Cleveland location who was a cleaner for a long time. And then she was kind of a production manager. And we wanted to, like, she was awesome. She was super reliable, super good personality, like really fun to be around, worked hard, just had all the behaviors that we wanted. So we're like, Nikki, we want you to like run this location and be the GM of the location. And so we'll have you in the office, running the business from there and doing that sort of thing. And you answer phones and run the schedule and whatever. And so that was great. But like 6 months later, she called me and she said, hey, Dan, I'm going to leave and go try to find something else to do. I just don't like this job. And I was like, oh, like totally caught me by surprise. And it's like, what's wrong? She's like, that phone rings and the anxiety that takes me over about like what's on the other end of that phone. Is it a happy customer? Is it an angry customer? Is it a new lead? Is it a good lead? Is it a shitty lead? Am I going to have to try to like get off the phone with them? Like, I hate it. I hate picking up that phone. I hate selling stuff. I hate customer servicing stuff. I hate typing emails. And I was like, oh shit. Like, we have the best person in the company in the wrongest seat in the company, but same thing. Like, it was the next opportunity. And it just totally made sense to give Nikki the next opportunity because she's Nikki. And it sounded so stupid when it came out of my mouth, but I'm so glad I asked it, which was like, do you think you can run the business from out in the field? And as I said it, I was like, A, that sounds stupid, but B, why didn't I think of that earlier? Like, why did I just assume you had to be in the office to be able to run the business? Like, it wasn't a huge business. Like, there's no and it's a classic. Leadership is not a job. Like leadership is a behavior. Anybody in any role could really be a leader.
And a practice.
Yeah. And so she's like, yeah, I think I could do that. So we moved Nikki back into the field and hired an office person. And wouldn't you know it, the office person was happy doing office stuff, and Nikki was happy like managing the team and being out in the field. Like she enjoyed cleaning houses. And it was just this story we told ourselves that in order to run a cleaning company, you got to be in. Ooh, that's a very close up beer. Look at that. Slide in.
I can smell it.
I was trying to drink it, but it kept getting farther away. Very frustrating. Very
I
frustrating.
was very.
Uh-oh.
I like the hockey goal. Good job, Jai. Hockey
Yeah.
goal.
Well, and is that just like a makeup for the confetti though? Like, is he just trying to like reconcile stuff? Because
Pretty sure JC's gonna sweep that.
or
after.
or did he just give you a new beer because he's gonna shoot confetti again to land some in there since he missed the last time? Things you need to be thinking about, Angela.
Since I have a question, or really quick, Angela, does like the world know? Because I'm not on Facebook nearly as much as I should be. But
that's
does the
not
world
that's
know
not
what
an
JC's
accurate
doing?
thing. If you're on Facebook at all, you're probably on Facebook too much.
Well, it's a great way to generate buzz and awareness of you as a human being, which I don't do. But
I've heard that you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, it works. Does the world know what JC just spent the last week or 2 weeks doing? Like volunteering? Is this like a secret thing? Like that's one of the most admirable, amazing things. And like we should just like publicly recognize how amazing JC is for Jared is as a human being for
Jared Janowski.
Donating his time and like efforts during Christmas light season to give back to the people of North Carolina and volunteering. Like that's an amazing, admirable thing that he did. And I'm super
What did he
proud.
do? Why am I in the dark on this? I don't know what
See?
the hell you're even talking about.
Crazy.
Right
Like, that's
I know.
amazing.
Well, I need to celebrate him on Facebook. He only did a couple posts. He has way bigger following and reach. No one sees my stuff. But he went to because I was asking Michael an integrator question. And I was like, hey, this is where JC is. He went to Western North Carolina to buy Asheville.
Yeah.
With the side-by-side chainsaws and did some search and rescue for
Public shout out to JC, to the millions of listeners on Turf Step Radio.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Service Monster. JC Chanowski, Jared Kanowski is a total badass.
It was. He is a total badass.
I'm not surprised about the badass.
It was a big give back, and hard to see. There's a lot of that.
It's not good up there. It's not good up there. Well, shout out Jared Chanowski.
Very proud of him.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. In the middle of Christmas light season going in.
Sorry to digress. I just felt like I had to say that.
No, yeah, I appreciate you bringing it up.
That's great. I hope he was listening and heard that. Otherwise, we'll play it back.
Good job, Jared.
Ryan had dropped this one in here earlier, and it made me go like, "Oh man, 6 weeks left of season," and I was like, "Oh yeah, like he's in Michigan. That's like Thanksgiving. It's 6 weeks until we're basically at
the topic of today.
Like Thanksgiving."
Which Thanksgiving?
What's that?
It's only 6 weeks till Thanksgiving.
I mean, like basically. I mean, it's probably like 7, but just till the end of Thursday the 21st is Thanksgiving, right? November 21st. So yeah, like 6 weeks. Yeah.
Man.
Look at that. Look at that. I think it's
time flies when you're having fun.
We were supposed to talk about that closing out the season. Things you're supposed to do at the end of the year.
We talked a lot about it with software switches and phone system and payroll. Those are big things. Here's the other piece of it though. And this like got into my mind, and there's a few different pieces of this. We'll do another episode just on the tax side of it. We'll get nerdy. We'll talk about how stupid it is to think you're going to try to save money on taxes by spending money at the end of the year. I call that going broke, saving money. That's like when the person that you love likes to shop a lot and they're like, I save so much money. And you're like, yeah, but you still spent $1,000 on blue jeans. Like, you're going broke, saving money. Anyway, I digress. My wife's not a shopper, so he's like neither one of us are shoppers. This is just like a thing that I assume other people do. But I did just sponsor, and Angela, I emailed you that I'm your golden boy. I'm the gold sponsor of Home Service Workshop. But it's
Whoa.
like weird spending money on stuff right now because you're like, oh, we're going in the winter and things are tight. And like, what do I want to spend money on? And well, it's tax deductible this year because like it's already out of my bank account. So I got the tax deduction and I got the tax write-off. Again, I'm gonna get into the tax stuff on a different episode. We'll do a whole episode on that. But there is shit that we need to think about investing in over the winter, in addition to just like how much money are we going to need to survive over the winter, depending on where we're at and what business we're in and all that stuff. So I want to talk a little bit about that because like with trade shows, it's really common as a vendor that we're going to end up, Daniel says, unless it's fishing gear. Well, you can always spend money on that. Because you got ice fishing stuff. I got to get ice fishing gear.
It's just for networking. So isn't that, do you consider that tax deductible?
Well, I think once Boob LLC is up and running for business owner outdoor badasses, Boob LLC will own a bunch of fishing gear so that when we go ice fishing or when we go fishing over here, when we go duck hunting or whatever, we'll have Boob LLC to buy some gear at a tax deductible rate. Maybe. And actually I learned this one from Eric Trice. He set up like a fake outfitter business. Actually, no, he didn't. He has a legitimate outfitter business.
Like,
he has an outfitter business so that he can buy stuff at outfitter prices, and it just doesn't get questioned. He's an outfitter.
You're about to disturb.
I thought that was pretty brilliant of Eric to do that. So we're gonna Boob LLC is officially an outfitter, so we can get some outfitter prices. We'll get some tax deductions. Life will be good. I got
it's a legit networking.
Yeah. Oh, it's a legit business. It's a legit and truly like it is an outfitter business. Like every time we go somewhere, if you're ice fishing, like I'm the outfitter. If we go out to San Diego to go fishing, Jeremy Jennings is the outfitter. If we go to Omaha, Nebraska to chase some whitetails or go pheasant hunting, Angela's the outfitter. So there will be somebody that's like coordinating any event that we do. But I digress. Investments going into the winter. There's just a couple like quick hitting points that I want to leave here, which is they're going to happen. You're going to need a new truck, a new skid, a new trailer, a new mower, a new software system, whatever. And you're going to have a cash bleed. Like your slow months, they're going to happen, and they get worse as you get bigger because you have more infrastructure costs. So the big thing for me is don't ignore those investments you need to make. Yeah, you might not make them till like November, December, but you need to be thinking about them now because it dictates the cash that you need to pile up. Like you need cash, you need a minimum bank balance. In our Minneapolis window cleaning business, it's at least $100,000. We need at least $100,000 to get us from end of November to mid-March. That's what we need. And 2 years ago, it was $120,000 because we just didn't plan perfectly. So know what that number is for you. If you have a lull, bank it. Make sure you're banking it. And know what these investments are because they need to be added to that number. If you're going to switch CRMs, that ain't going to be free. If you're going to add a new phone system or a new software system or whatever, a new marketing guy, that ain't going to be free. Again, we'll get into what you should be buying to save on taxes, not what you think you want to buy because your ego. But if you're going to need a new truck in March, maybe you're going to buy it in December, to move up the tax benefit a little bit. But if you have the cash flow, but all needs to be part of this math you're doing, all part of this calculation you're doing. It has to start now because you have to make the money now. You can't wait till December to make the money. Go ahead, Angela.
Yeah, you have to make you have to know where your numbers are to make it. Like that's the thing in the home service industry that it just makes me so sad. The people that are like so out of money in February because it's like they literally didn't know. And I've said this before, like my dance studio business was seasonal like that, a home service business, and I was 23 when I had it, and I just somehow knew like, I cannot trust myself with having money and then having 3 months with no income. So I set up systems like I paid my huge 6,000 square foot commercial space. I I set up a bank payment so it was only paid in 9 months. And I didn't have any payments in those months. Like you have to set up systems and know, like, I need this much in the bank account, or I had a separate bank account. Then like the utilities came out of it and I had to pay into it the rest of the year. There's a whole separate bank account for dead season.
Yeah.
And I don't think people talk about that enough. Because some people need that. Like if you're a visionary that doesn't like to look at numbers, you need some system that you're like, I have to put money into this because I have to have $120,000 to get us from November to March. And I think it's something so untalked about that newer people need more of to be able to survive. Like you have to set up this separate account because you're not going to have any money coming in and you're still going to have expenses. Do not spend that money. It's not yours.
One of the things that I see that happens as well is people will wait, and this is just me being critical, and then we'll wrap this baby up. But sales boost, home service workshop. We know the dates. We know the ticket prices. Buy that shit now, you guys. Like, A, you usually get a better price if you buy it now. B, if you don't spend that money now, you're going to wait until mid-February and go, oh shit, I can't afford to go. I can't afford to go invest in myself and in my business and build relationships. Like probably the best investment you can make. You're going to end up, if you wait too long, you end up punting on it because you're going to spend it on stupid shit in between. That's not a good investment. That's not going to help you grow your business. That's not going to help you build relationships with the right people. So big plug to Home Service Workshop and Sales Boost and all the other shows that are combining there. It's going to be one of a kind. It is one of a kind. It's going to be freaking awesome. I'm the gold sponsor. Did I mention I'm the gold sponsor?
Yeah, we're speaking at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are speaking at it. Don't worry. Your speaker email is coming. I told JC, he's like, we got to confirm speakers. I was like, well, Michael and Dan are already confirmed because they committed themselves online last week.
Did we, is there going to be a live radio show taping? We're going to tape a live radio show? I
forgot to tell him about that, but yes, we're going to do a live show. Yeah.
Got to do a live show. It'd be too fun. Too fun. I'll bring the bush lights. Bring the bush lights.
With the bush lights. Yeah.
The lattes.
But I see that happen where there's like awesome conventions to go to. And this is going to be the awesomest because this combined all the awesome conventions that we would all try to go to in the spring. But it's hard to go to it in the spring because if you did bad planning, you don't have the money to go. And if you wait till the end, then you spent it on stupid shit. And now you don't have the money to go. So just huge incentive right now. Like go get your tickets for Home Service Workshop right now. Spend it now while it's coming in. And then bank the rest, plan on it. Like, you're going, it's the biggest investment you're going to make is to go build these the relationships and knowledge. There's the link right there. It's on the Facebook Home Service Workshop. Regfox. I don't know what that means, Doc. I'm not going to read the rest of it. It's too many words and letters. I can barely point at the right thing on my screen, y'all. But yeah, go like everything's going to be there. Everybody's going to be there. So get your tickets now for Home Service Workshop. Do not wait until February when you made stupid decisions between now and then. Like invest in the things you know you're going to need while you're bringing the money in, and then set your budget accordingly and do smart shit like Angela did, where she would literally like stash her money aside to pay for the things. We're going to do a separate episode on like what not to buy for tax purposes, because I get so annoyed of watching people buy stupid shit because they think they're saving money on taxes when it's just like going shopping and buying really expensive things and justifying it because it was on sale and you're just going broke saving money. That's the same thing as spending money to save money on taxes. We'll do that in a separate episode because there's all sorts of examples and I'm going to bore you guys to death with math. Angela and Michael, any closing comments as we're talking about wrapping up the year here? Any other investments to make besides hiring your marketing company or your VA company for 2025?
Great show, Dan.
Great show. I love the Working Genius.
Working Genius, man. That was that widget thing. That was the cream of the crop for today's show. If you didn't catch that and you're tuning in now, like go back to the 30-minute mark and listen to Michael spill the juice. That's good stuff.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it. If you do the Working Genius, let's do it. I'll go through I would love to see what you are. I would love to see what your unique genius is during our next.
Oh, I see what you did there. That was neat. That was good. I think I got Jason Guy back on tonight, who's a marketing nerd, just like our guy Michael here, and he came on a while ago. We're talking about all sorts of Google stuff, and he's like, "We need to do a full episode on Google local service ads." So tonight, that's all we're going to talk about. We're not going to BS. We're going to cut right to the chase. We're only going to talk Google local service ads for 2 hours. That's it, guaranteed. Maybe. That's all I got for you guys. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for running businesses, doing sweet stuff. Angela, Michael, thank you guys as always. I know Sean had to run and get the kiddos. Jai, you the man. Shout out Service Monster. Go check them out if you're in the market for a new CRM or a CRM. There's a code for home service for Service Monster, Home Service Happy Hour link. And go buy your ticket now to Home Service Workshop. That's a lot of home service and home words in different orders. I'm confused. You're confused. Everybody confused.
You're amphibious.
I'm
Amphibious, you know?
Amphibious.
I can use both my hands at the same time.
Maybe amphibious means you can use web hands or something.
Maybe.
Don't try to make it more complicated than it is, Angela. Now you're just making it more
I don't think spiders are amphibians, though. So close.
Yeah. It's biology now.
But what? There's amphibians that have like fins or
Web feet. Yeah, okay.
I think that's like maybe I'm biased, but I'm pretty sure that's the platypus. They have some web feet, and I think it's the males that actually platypus have web feet, and I think the males actually have. I think it's the males that have like poison in their back feet. Super weird. Platypus. Look them up. It's our family animal. They're super cool.
Oh, animal.
Yeah, it's our family animal. Literally, each one of my kids gets like a stuffed platypus at some point in their lifetime. Is like an ode to the platypus because they're weird and we're weird. Let's wrap this thing up. I gotta get out of here. I gotta go get my weird kids. You guys know what to do. Work smarter and harder. Go earn some pride. We'll see you tonight talking only local service ads. That's it. That's all we're doing. Peace.
See ya.